Hi there, Dave Douglas with Music for Praise again. This one's going to be a little different. I just want to talk about building proficiency in our music. The old adage in question was, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And practice, practice, practice was the answer. Practice, practice, practice is the answer. If you're going to become a keyboard player, guitar player, or whatever, you need to practice. Athletes, teachers, military people, scientists, musicians all have that one thing in common, and that is to become the best, you must work at it. There's no shortcut. There's a lot of gifted people who probably can do some shortcuts, but bottom line is you have to build proficiency in your music. And I tell students that this kind of stuff, while boring, perhaps, what you have to do in your fingers is build proficiency. Same thing with the guitar players, the way that they have to do it. There's a couple of different kinds of guitar players. There's quarters and strummers, and then there's classicals. Classical guitar players play notes, and they play classical scores instead of just chunking chords. So anybody that wants to become a proficient guitar player needs to learn how to do their scales and do their runs and do those kind of things. So you cannot get out of it. While there's a thing as natural ability, my guess is that ability is really a small fraction of what is needed to excel in this, as the work never ends. A pro football player doesn't stop exercising and learning the playbook just because he's been awarded a jersey. A teacher never stops learning new material, new methods, and continuing education. When you join the military, you're marched, shaped, stretched to your limit to learn how to work as a team. Science is ever learning and growing with new inventions and methods and growth. Musicians should never stop learning and growing, practicing, trying new things. You know, I get stuck into chord patterns because I like 2-5-1s. 2-5-1s, and I do that so much that all my music winds up sounding pretty much the same. And I try to break out of that, and the times I think I've broken out of it, and I write a song and I'm excited about it and I play it for my kids and they go, "Boy, Dad, that sounds so 70s. Drives me nuts." So I keep trying to learn and build and change. I've got one on my computer right now that I'm doing. It doesn't sound like anything I've ever done. Background, everything. And, I don't know. I'm just going to keep trying. But musicians should never stop learning, practicing, and trying these new things. If we don't do these things, we grow stale and frozen in place. Hello. We don't want to be frozen in place. But I'm 73. Okay, that's old. I continue to learn by watching YouTube training videos on music engineering and mixing. The guys that put things out there for my Studio One DAW program are excellent. So I always go on there and try to find out what's new and what they're doing, and I put that into my programming. I know Joe Gilder covered one on how to put effects and compressors and all of that on vocals. And I looked at that and I thought, oh, I'd have never thought of that. And there's a couple of things in there that he taught me. So I'm always trying to learn. And even as old as I am, there's something I can always learn. I have new computer programs that I'm always trying to learn. For example, the one I'm talking to you on right now is called OBS. I had no clue about OBS until I put it on my computer and I watched a couple of videos and I learned where the right places are and how to store things and how to record and how to do this double camera thing. Old dog, new tricks. So for music, I'm always writing that new song. I'm always playing with lyrics. I'm always trying to translate my emotions into it. I'm always attempting to get the gospel message out in the composition. Now that's important. What's your message? in your music. A lot of people have crazy messages in their music. There's a lot of stuff out there that the world puts out that just amazes me what their purpose is. So you have to, as a Christian artist, we need to make sure that our message is not about us. It's not about our feelings, our emotions. It's about the cross. It's about what Jesus did for us. And in that, you can talk about the emotions that he gives you, but make sure the focus stays on the gospel. So life doesn't end until it ends. So my phrase on one of my pages in social media is that I want to run full blast to the finish line. That could be today. I don't know, but I'm trying to run. So what is your routine? When I teach piano students, my first question usually is, how much did you practice this week? I used to hate that question. Clayton Erb would ask me that question, my teacher, and I would fudge around. He said, okay, so we're going to practice today. And my lesson would turn into a full-blown practice. So I had a lot of football and things like that I played. And he said to me once, he said, are you going to become a professional football player? And I said, probably not. I'm not fast enough, not big enough. And he said, well, you have the gift to become a professional musician if you'll just apply yourself. And over the years, back then I thought he's blowing smoke at me. Over the years, though, I've come to realize how right he was. And I did become a professional musician. I've made a living in music almost all my life. Then I realized that I gave up finally playing football, but it wasn't until college. I was in college. I worked out with a semi-pro team that my brother played with, and they invited me on the team. And after a practice with them, I had a couple of 300-pound guys running at me and knocking me over. And I said, nah, that's not for me. So my question to you is this. If you wish to learn to play keyboards or any other instrument, what are you willing to give up in order to become proficient at it? Now, there's a lot of heart and soul players out there. If that's you, congratulations, you've got to start. But there aren't many Bach and Chopin players. There aren't many that can play Beethoven. There's tons of 3 to 5 chord praise team players. There's lots of people who can do this. There's a lot of people that can play. Can you play this? So, what are you willing to give up? But if you want to become more proficient and be able to fill the gaps, be able to put runs in if you need to, you need to work at it. So you have a decision to make. Which do you want to be? Music for Praise. This is Dave Douglas. I need you to go over here. Oh, I gotta get my camera out of the way. Turn my overhead off. You need to come over here and subscribe, and then friend me, and make sure that you stay in contact. I'm putting out a whole bunch of videos. I've already got, I think, 4 done now, and there's a bunch coming. I've got a whole plan laid out. So, Music for Praise, Dave Douglas.